Hey guys, it's Amber and I'm back with another project for the Hedgehog Hollow for the January 2020 kit. This one is all about the stars and moon, and here I have the Given Direction stamp set. There are 4 stamp sets and a stencil included in this kit, so I encourage you to check it out. I'll have another video later in the month where I use more of the sets in the cards, so you'll get to see a bunch of them together. So this is the first time I'm using this stamp set, so to condition my stamp set, I'm just lightly rubbing it with a white plastic eraser, and then it's ready to take the ink. So I thought it would be fun to create a couple backgrounds with the stamps, and so I wanted to add some sparkle to these stars. So I have 2 Wow embossing powders. One is metallic gold sparkle and the other is Metalline Himalayan Musk, and it's such a beautiful purple. It's kind of like a neutral in my mind. It would go with so many different things, and I love it with the gold. So I'm going to do 1 star at a time, and I'm not going to show me stamping every single star because we'll be here all day long. But I do think it's important to use your anti-static powder tool in between each stamping. I tend to put my fingers all over the card, so even though the Wow powders are treated to be anti-static, that's not going to prevent things sticking to the oils from your fingers that might get on your cardstock. So like you can see up there, that's probably one of my fingerprints up there. And if you do have any stray bits, just reserve one of your paintbrushes to the side and use that for your embossing powders. Like I have that one in my little caddy on my desk, and I use it all the time to knock off stray embossing powder. Now, whenever you're embossing with glitters, you want to make sure that you tap lightly on your cardstock. You don't want to knock off all of the glitter, so super light tap to get off the excess. And a lot of times what you'll find is the excess that is kind of left over is more glitter than it is embossing powder. So a lot of times I'll just go ahead and emboss knowing that that's glitter. You can kind of tell by the shape and the sparkle of what's left on your paper, and then I just brush it off with my Nuvo surface sweep. Here I'm just adding some sequins. I trimmed the panel down just 1/8 of an inch at the top and the bottom and backed it with some strips of gold leaf curious metallic cardstock, and then I also use that for my sentiment strip as well. Moving on to the next card, this panel was actually one that I ink blended a while ago, and it was just sitting. I have like a stack of backgrounds that I haven't used, so I just pulled it out of there. But I'm going to add the same colors over again and ink blend over the stamping that I'm doing, so you'll get to see what colors I use. Now, I was thinking that I would just be able to use the embossing ink and ink blend over that and have a resist effect. That did not work out like I expected, and I think it's because my ink pad was not wet enough. I think it's starting to dry out a bit, and so like you can see, you can barely see the stamping, and then I decided to dry it. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna need to go back and watch a Jennifer McGuire video because I saw her do this a long time ago, but I'd never done it before. So I think that's what I'll have to do. I don't know. I'll have to go back and re-educate myself on this. But I wanted to keep it in here because you're gonna see some ghosting of these images underneath the next images that I stamp. So here you can see I'm going to try and ink blend over this, and this is Azurite by Altenew. This is from the Lapis Lazuli color family. And so I am just ink blending on with some makeup brushes from Amazon, and you can barely see the images. Now, if I had kept going, maybe it would have been enough if I'd kept going with the blending. But to me, it wasn't as noticeable as I wanted it to be. So after trying this ink blending for just a little bit, I stop, and then I decide to stamp again as best I can, lining it up with what's already there, which was hard because I could barely see it. And then I decided to heat emboss it with just some clear embossing powder from Wow. I figured that would make it a lot more apparent. So I'm trapping the original ink blending underneath, and then I'm going to come in and darken up those colors and see if we can get those images to pop a little bit more. They are more noticeable, not only because they're shiny now, but also because it was just a better resist technique than the original one that I was doing. So this is Orange Cream from Altenew, and This is probably my favorite orange. It is the most beautiful color. And then in the middle we have Purple Wine, which is from the Rose Petal color family, also from Altenew. So just ink blending those, and so you can see, maybe you can't see now, but you will be able to see with the photos, some of them were not lined up completely perfectly. I'm not surprised by that. So you'll see a little bit of the ghosting of the images, but I'm okay with that. I think it looks pretty good. Then what I did is I took that same stamp, stamped it on vellum with Stazon black ink, the pigment ink. I like the pigment ink because it dries super, super quickly. And then I stamped a sentiment on a strip as well. Now, normally I would have just wrapped that vellum strip around the back. I don't know why I trimmed it off though. So then I had to add a little bit of glue to the edges. But if you wrap it around the back, then you won't have any trace of glue on the front of your card. Then for the other images, just hide the glue behind the black ink and you should be good. I added a couple sequins and that was it. So here you could see that little bit of ghosting there. I hope that you guys enjoyed these projects today. Anytime I make a mistake or an error, I try to leave those in my filming so that you can see how I correct them. It's rare that I completely trash a project and start over. And so it's usually real life crafting going on here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you real soon with more inspiration. Thanks so much for stopping by.